The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from experts on such topics as legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to our experts in community association law, estate planning law, tax relief, Medicare, public insurance adjusters, neuropathy treatment, business brokers, and personal injury law, along with many other topics. Now here's your host for the last 17 years, Steve O.
In Florida, my home state, most beautiful state in the United States. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show, where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. We do so many shows. A lot of them are on legal. And listen, I know that all of our expert attorneys care about their clients, but there's one field, one area of law that you really have to have a heart for your clients, and that's estate planning. We have one of the top estate planning attorneys in the state of Florida. In fact, this show is so important that we went from the central part of Florida and made it the whole state. Actually, we started off in South Florida, now that I think about it, and now we're the whole state. It's that important. We have one of the greatest estate planning attorneys, and you'll see for the next 25 minutes why Tom Olson, attorney Tom Olson, is so perfect when it comes to estate planning. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Steve, and all your loyal listeners to the Ask the Expert show.
I love doing the show with you. It's so obvious how much you care about your clients. There's so many things you do, and your dad has to be so proud of what you've done with the firm.
He was, Steve. My dad had been a lawyer in Orlando since the mid-50s. I became a lawyer in 1981. I had the pleasure of practicing law with him for many years until he retired. He was a great, wonderful mentor to me. I'll always remember for the first few years of my law practice, all I did was to sit in his office and listen to him talk to clients. And I'd be thinking, wow, how will I ever know as much about the law as my dad did? And it took a few years, but I think I'm there.
You know, there's so many people who procrastinate when it comes to estate planning. And, I got to tell you, every time I see somebody passing away that maybe in their 30s, 40s, 50s, or even 60s, I always wonder, were they smart enough to have an estate plan? Because I know a lot of people who didn't, Tom.
Steve, part of our goal is to help people avoid probate. We're trying to make things simple, easy, inexpensive for their children when they pass away. But maybe as important, we're trying to keep their kids from arguing with each other when mom and dad pass away. So when people die without an estate plan, well, number one, it's going to require probate. It's going to be much more expensive for the heirs. But number two, is going to lead to confusion, anxiety, expenses, delays. And that means the kids are going to be have more opportunity to argue with each other. When I became a lawyer in 1981, rare was the day when kids would argue and fight when mom and dad passed away. These days, it is 50% chance the kids are going to be arguing with each other and a good percent chance that they're never going to talk to each other again. So all the more reason for you to get your estate plan in order. So make things simple, easy, expensive for your kids when you pass away. Here's a great example of that, Steve. To make your bank accounts avoid probate, checking, savings, CDs, money markets, very easy. If you've got 3 kids, make those cash accounts POD, payable on death to your 3 children. When you pass away, any one of your children can show the bank or credit union or investment company your death certificate, and they'll write 3 separate checks to your 3 kids. Your kids don't even have to talk to each other, and they're going to get their money. That's what we're talking about, making things simple, easy, and inexpensive. We have all kinds of tools to help you with that. FloridaSeniorPlanning.com. We offer a free initial consultation. We can do that in person, over the phone, via Zoom. We can help you wherever you are in the state of Florida, from Pensacola to the Keys. Let us help you with your estate planning. FloridaSeniorPlanning.com.
You know, when people write us, I always tell them, you're going to love the way Tom charges versus how other firms charge.
Steve, we do everything on a flat fee basis here. That's the way I've always practiced law, and it makes it much better for us, the lawyers, and better for the client when they know from the very beginning what it's going to cost. So when we do that free initial consultation, we will come up with an action plan. Once we agree on an action plan with the client, we are happy to quote you a flat fee. Steve, when we do the 4 basic documents for clients, that's a will, a living will, pull the plug, don't keep you alive by machines, a healthcare surrogate, a financial power of attorney. To do those 4 documents for a single person, it's only $1,200. To do those 4 documents for a married couple, 4 for him, 4 for her, it's only $1,500. So it's not that expensive. And I'll tell you what, Steve, most of our clients that walk out here, they feel like there's a weight off their shoulders that they finally got this done. So we invite you to jump on it now, FloridaSeniorPlanning.com. You can schedule an appointment, or you can call us right now, 407-423-5561. By the way, we have free booklets for people. One of those booklets is Easy Ways to Avoid Probate, How to Avoid Probate on Your Home. You can get that free booklet by going through our website, FloridaSeniorPlanning.com, or call right now, 407-423-5561.
Nick in Ocala. I have been watching your show for the last 3 months. The information you provide is amazing. I am curious, if we use your firm and my mother passes away, do you sit down with the family afterwards to explain everything about their plan?
Well, Steve, I thought you were going to go somewhere else, and that is this, that I often have people say, Tom, when my mom passes away, do we need to have a reading of the will? A reading of the will is something that you see on TV and movies. It's not a real thing.
Oh, okay.
So when mom passes away, usually one of the kids will give me a call. I tell them it's really very simple. If mom followed our advice, she made her bank accounts POD, payable on death to the kids, go down and show the bank, credit union, investment company, mom's death certificate, they'll write checks to you. If we used a ladybird deed to avoid probate on mom's home, all we need to do is record her death certificate into public records. So usually my conversation is, this is what you need to do. If you run into a problem, give me a call. We'll help you work it out. Usually there's no reason for them to call me back. We can handle it all over the phone. But Steve, there's always the possibility that they'll come back and say, Tom, mom followed your advice. She used a ladybird deed on her home. She made almost all of her bank accounts POD, payable on debt to their kids. But, oh, here's one account that mom forgot to make payable on death. What are we going to do? Well, in that situation, we will have to do a small probate for that small account. But Steve, remember, probate fees are based on what the value of the probate estate is. Florida statutes recommends a probate fee to be equal to 3%. So probate on a $25,000 bank account is a lot cheaper than probate on $1 million bank account. Steve, so when people are out there, they're thinking, well, what's the big deal with probate? Well, again, Florida statutes recommends an attorney fee of 3%. So if your home is worth $400,000 and it goes through probate, Florida statutes recommends a probate fee of $12,000. If your home is worth $500,000, Florida statute is going to recommend a probate fee of $15,000. That's a lot of money. People want to avoid it. We have all the tools we need to help you to avoid probate. FloridaSeniorPlanning.com.
We get a lot of questions, people wanting to know, how often should my plan be reviewed?
Steve, my recommendation is certain circumstances, but certainly if your documents are more than 5 years old, that's a good reason. If your documents were done in another state and now you live in Florida, that's a good reason to have your documents reviewed. If you did your documents when your kids were young, 12, 15 years old, and you appointed your brother or sister to make your healthcare decisions for you, but now your kids are adults and they would be the likely person to make healthcare decisions for you if you're not able to, that's also a good reason. Steve at Florida Senior Planning, we offer to do a free review of your existing estate planning documents. You can bring them to us, drop them off, email them to us, fax them to us, bring them to your appointment, whatever you want. Now, there are people out there that are thinking, Tom, I did my documents 6 years ago. I know they were perfect. I use a great lawyer. Well, I would say two things about that. Number one, your lawyer may have done a fantastic, perfect will for you, but having a will has nothing to do with avoiding probate. So a great will, all that does is direct what happens to your assets when they go through probate. We need to take it to the next level. Not only do you need a will, we need to help you to avoid probate. Number two, financial powers of attorney are very important estate planning tools here in the state of Florida. We recommend them for everybody. The Florida statutes, they do not have an expiration date on them, but the fact of the matter is that financial institutions, banks, financial advisors, investment companies, they don't like financial powers of attorney that are more than 5 years old. So 6 years ago, you may have done the best financial power of attorney in town. Couldn't have been any better. But the very fact that it's 6 years old means that you need to redo it and have one that's dated today.
You know, when Tom first started with us, I was like thinking to myself, God, this guy is like veins of steel. I mean, he is so good at this. And I find out you've been doing a radio show for the last, 35 years, Tom?
40 years, Steve.
40
My
years.
radio show is Olson on Law. It is America's longest running legal radio show. It is every Saturday from 11 to noon. Steve, I love doing radio. It wouldn't work if I didn't love doing it. Historically, I would have had to drive to the radio station and broadcast from there. But when COVID came around, they wouldn't let anybody in the radio station anymore. So we built our own little studio here in our office, and so we can broadcast the show from our office. So it's gotten so much more convenient. And I love doing radio, Steve, the Olson on Law radio show. You can find it on your podcast, or you can listen to it live streaming at WDBO.com. Those call letters are Way Down by Orlando, WDBO.com. You can listen to the Olson on Law radio show live streaming every Saturday from 11 to noon.
You know, Tom, I've got to ask this, and someone just wrote it in too. This is from Mark in Orlando. He said, ask your expert what makes his firm different from other estate planning firms.
Steve, I would say maybe first and foremost is that we're also focused on the avoiding probate side of things. Okay. So there are a lot of lawyers out there. Historically, they would say, great, I'd love to do a will for you, Mr. and Mrs. Klein. And here it is, knowing that, hey, they do this will for them. Someday mom and dad pass away. The kids are going to see that will. They're going to go back to that lawyer and say, mom and dad have passed away. You did their will for them many years ago. Well, then the lawyer's going to break the news to him. Well, we're going to have to do probate. I'd love to assist you with that. So we're all about helping people to avoid probate. On the other side of the coin, Steve, there are a lot of people out there that have not followed our advice or taken the time to avoid probate. Doing probates, that's a large part of our law practice. So we know both sides of it. Steve, also, when we do estate planning for people, we do everything on a flat fee basis. So from the very beginning what's going to cost. And Steve, we are all about providing excellent client service. We have young lawyers here that this is what we teach them. Number one, got to be fair. People understand the value of a dollar. You got to charge them fair fees. Number two, you got to give them great client service and a great product. And that's what we're all about at FloridaSeniorPlanning.com.
Tom, what do you do for your clients that offset these high costs of nursing homes, assisted living, home care?
Steve, we have a whole side of our practice that's about doing two things for people. Number one, Florida has a program called a waiver program where if you're a senior and when you need it, the state of Florida will provide you up to 30 hours per week of free in-home care, light cooking, light cleaning, activities of daily living, dressing, showering, toileting, taking you to the doctor's appointments. We can get you financially qualified where the state of Florida will provide that 30 hours of free in-home care to you. It is meant to keep you out of a nursing home. There are people out there listening right now that say, I want to live in my home as long as I can, but I need a little bit of help. This Florida waiver program would be perfect for you. Maybe you're helping your parents that live here in the state of Florida. God bless you for that. But maybe you need a little bit of help. This Florida waiver program would be perfect for you. While we get you financially qualified for the waiver program, we're also going to get you financially qualified where the state of Florida will pay for your nursing home if you have to go into a nursing home. We can protect your home, your rental property, your beach condo, your cash in the bank, your IRAs, you name it. We can protect it and have the state of Florida pay for your nursing home. So, Steve, here's the little story that I give people. If you're out there in the community and you're talking to your friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, and you hear these words, oh, mom fell and broke her hip. She went to rehab. We thought she was going to go home, but no, she needs to go to a nursing home, also known as a skilled nursing facility. That's going to be $15,000 per month.
Wow.
Everything mom ever worked for down the drain. Nothing we can do about it. There's a 5-year look back period. No, at Florida Senior Planning, we have all the legal tools we need to protect your wealth from the cost of a nursing home. We can do that tools and that planning two ways, Steve. One, we can do pre-planning so that we sign all the documents necessary that if you had to go into a nursing home, the state of Florida is going to pay for it. Your kids can focus on getting you the best care, not how they're going to pay for it. Or, Steve, we can do crisis planning, and that is, hey, somebody calls our office, mom broke her hip, she's got to go to a nursing home, she's going in 2 weeks, we need to do the proper planning in the next 2 weeks. We can do it that way if we need to. We prefer to do pre-planning, but we can do crisis planning as well.
This is from Max in Lutz, Florida. I'm really enjoying the show. I'm so confused. I know your expert can educate me on this as to what is the difference between a general power of attorney, limited power of attorney, and durable power of attorney.
Okay. So all of those powers of attorney, 3 types of powers of attorney, every one of them, all of them, they end when the person passes away. They can only be used, let's say mom signs one of those powers of attorney, they can only be used while mom is alive. Once she passes away, they are automatically revoked, cannot be used anymore. A limited power of attorney, we use it every once in a while, and it's limited to one purpose. So let's say that you've signed a contract to sell your home. That closing is on the 15th of next month, but you've already scheduled a trip in Europe and you're not available on the 15th of next month to sign all the documents. You would give your child or friend a limited power of attorney that would authorize them to go to that closing, signed all closing documents that you would have normally signed because you're in Europe. We use them every once in a while. A durable power of attorney is what we use most of the time. A standard power of attorney, it automatically is revoked when somebody becomes incompetent. A durable power of attorney stays in effect when somebody becomes incompetent. That's a durable aspect to a durable power of attorney. That's what we're using most of the time for most of our clients. So that if mom signs a durable power of attorney appointing her son Bill to take care of business if mom becomes incompetent, and mom is in a car wreck and she's comatose, or mom develops Alzheimer's and she's not able to pay her bills and manage her financial affairs anymore, son Bill is going to be using this durable power of attorney for financial affairs to manage her financial affairs, manage her IRAs, maintain insurance on her home, talk to her insurance for her car and her home. All those things, they're critical. You definitely want to have a durable financial power of attorney as part of your estate planning. It is standard procedure for us to do that for you. FloridaSeniorPlanning.com.
Well, someone just asked me, what if you're unconscious and you're taken to the hospital? How do they know you have a will?
Well, the hospital is going to be more interested to know if you have a living will declaration. That's a pull the plug, don't keep me alive by machines. If you ever go to a hospital, they're always going to standard procedure, ask you if you have that document. The other thing the hospital will want to know is, do you have a healthcare surrogate form where you appointed somebody to make healthcare decisions for you if you're not able to? So when you do these estate planning documents with us at FloridaSeniorPlanning.com, we put everything in a white 3-ring binder. So it's very easy for you to keep track of your documents, put them on a shelf in your library or somewhere in your house. But we also put a scanned copy of everything on a thumb drive. And we tell you, look, when you go home, right off your thumb drive, send your kids copies of all these documents that you just did with us. So they're going to know if mom or dad goes into a hospital, they're going to know mom and dad have a living will and declaration. Mom and dad have a healthcare surrogate form, and they're going to be able to provide the hospitals or doctors with copies of those things.
Tom, somebody just asked again, can you tell us, he says, I live in Orlando. Can you tell us again about your radio show?
So it's every Saturday from 11 to noon on WDBO. That's a very long time, well-known, famous radio station in Orlando. The call letters way down by Orlando, WDBO. You can listen to it live streaming through your computer or smartphone. Of course, you can pick it up over the air. And we take every radio show and we turn it into a podcast, wherever you get your local podcast from. And Steve, we actually videotape every radio show. And then I chop those videos up into one legal question, one legal answer. We have a YouTube channel called Law Tube Channel. Steve, we got 2 million views and over 10,000 subscribers. So you can get our videos if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Law Tube Channel.
Wow. So let's tell people how they can reach you again, Tom.
Well, first of all, they can call us right now. We have operators standing by to talk to you, to schedule an appointment by phone, by over the phone, in person, via Zoom, or to get our free booklets on easy ways to avoid probate or how to protect your wealth from the cost of a nursing home. You can call us right now, 407-423-5561. If you call us after hours, just leave a message for what you want, an appointment or free booklets. We'll get those to you. You can find out more about us through our website, FloridaSeniorPlanning.com.
Tom, we love having you on the show. Tom's with us twice a month. And Tom, thanks again. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Steve.
It's attorney Tom Olson. Folks, I'm telling you, don't procrastinate when it comes time to your estate planning, and give Tom a call. That's going to do it for us today. We'll be back in with you tomorrow with more Ask the Experts.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.